offenses are obaba, but so far in the MPP for one free SHS no. Akọ ye pa aboa abatanoma won so woni bi na ade no so wa aboa wan ka se betumi ejina de na ye da to aba ma kofa
ni na so odentom ni na yakubat na now na like wedding kai free SHS so I hope there what to am na why continue cinema ending so baba be ye o da mo hudi free SHS o da ba o kulo mama obia na ma minisko obia onyi bi no so watu akọ school ni bi but a lot to ayon to because of one it's about to fa asonje
and say obeja free education so obeja free education so that one it's why more vote because of the free education that's why you can get vote free education but one problem or the problem I say or the free education from there also more jobs it come but we don't see the more jobs I'm a young boys yeah break the more jobs no one dam one factory that one I know on here
also be able to aba be or bota bi nti na ere or to aba okay free senior high ntin kwan ye free senior high kwan ti ma me ntwa me survival ese me dabani me kwa adwuma ma ba magazine se boat to kita mi enko ye mfa ma me nti so ka me free senior high kwan to aba ma wo de a ende enye ye
SHS ne de aboawfo ma wofo ko ma han wo mo bebire because me nua ba ko no okobi e so we school we nya ya nya se free SHS kan ntimi fa no nko
dada bi me free senior school to abakra ni ama me kan se nanado Semashia bre magazine ya pa mananado a babi a odi me asi media ma hunu so ba kokora media nim se sa nanado kora ba obeyem sa
min gina no so ento aba ma aban bia because ohia the government of Ghana na se kwan ya omofa so eruli Ghana obi aba oye na afomudie na sabio say if you are coming to ask for us to vote for you again and I say we di policy fufu bi eba ansana ya to aba ma
4 years ni end no na wa wie sa free education na dia aka bia 4 years ni kan ho a obetuma complete the office o ye bia oh to me free education is very good yeah very good obi aka say enye good obo because abo me mankobi no ntre se emo obi me mankobi but bi mu wo machi o mbetumi akobi eh sena nado did free education aba Ghana ha ne meka kwakwasi ane se na nimdie nimu a even kwadwuma kura no untime nye ana secondary free education a mini bi ne atwam kwa me nkroma de ba Ghana ha no enam so ama nipa pi binim kura wa amanmu a free education a kwa me nkroma de bere ne ama banya sa position na binum ka se enye no to me say obi bi sam say free education no eya na say nya me menya nka free education ko anti ka Ghana fo nyina nto abama MPP aban
wa be yehu de oya maye ase everyday bo ni asam hoy
unim kasa
brother ze kenale ba ni na mo ba ka no mga jesa ye we botom ya sapi muzika dabi
ne free SHS no akọ ye pa aboa abatanoma won so woni bi na ade no so wa aboa wan ka se betumi ejina de na ye da to aba ma kofa
ni na so odentom ni na yakubat na now na like wedding kai free SHS so I hope there what to am na why continue cinema ending so baba be ye o da mo hudi free SHS o da ba o kulo mama obia na ma minisko obia onyi bi no so watu akọ school ni bi but a lot to ayon to because of one it's about to fa asonje
and say obeja free education so obeja free education so that one it's why more vote because of the free education that's why you can get vote free education but one problem or the problem I say or the free education from there also more jobs it come but we don't see the more jobs I'm a young boys yeah break the more jobs no one dam one factory that one I know on here
also be able to aba be or bota bi nti na ere or to aba okay free senior high ntin kwan ye free senior high kwan ti ma me ntwa me survival ese me dabani me kwa adwuma ma ba magazine se boat to kita mi enko ye mfa ma me And to come here free senior high and to Abama there. And then ye.
The SHS and the Abuao for ma for Kuma high or Mubibiri. Because me back on Okobi. I was school when yes, if the SHS came to me for no call.
Dada Bibilia me free senior school to Abakra. Niama me can say Nanado. Semasia bre magazine ya pa mananadwa. Babia odi me asi media ma hunu so ba kokora media nim se sa nanado kora ba obeyem sa.
Min gina no so ento aba ma aban bia. Government of Ghana na se kwan ya omofa so eruli Ghana. Obi aba oye na from die. Na Sebio say if you are coming to ask for us to vote for you again, as I say we deep policy fufu bi eba ansana ya to aba ma.
Voters' voices from Techiman and Takrady. And the very simple question that we asked, will free senior high school influence your votes? Let's speak to a research consultant with the CDD, Gilfred Isiama Boateng. Good morning to you, sir. If you can hear me, welcome to the conversation.
Good morning, Mamavi, and thanks for having me.
Okay, great. I'm sure you are listening to those voices. First of all, how significant is what they've had to contribute to this conversation?
Well, I think their voices matter a lot. Government crafts some of these policies to address the needs and concerns of citizens, and then going back to the streets and talking to citizens, their reflections about what government has done so far as education policy is concerned. I think it's very good and it's quite commendable. And again, it's also very good for government to know the feedback and also the opposition party to know what people think so far as their proposals to reform and improve our education is concerned.
When you hear people say, well, maybe I didn't directly benefit from this free senior high school, but somebody else in my family or somebody else that I know benefited. Are they saying this because, essentially what I'm asking is, how do you differentiate between somebody who appreciates the policy and appreciates the impact it is making, therefore it will influence that person's votes, from a person who simply loves the party and likes the fact that there is a certain policy that is beneficial to a certain group of people?
Well, so even both of them, the first one, let me address the people who love the party and they are happy that their government is improving the lives of the people, or they are proposing credible policy alternatives and policy proposals that will help improve the livelihood of the people. So that is one, and certainly people always will align to the preferences of their political parties. The second one, you also talking about people who are direct beneficiaries, where they have people that they take care of who are benefiting from such policies. These people have witnessed, or they can tell you the cost they have saved and all the burden that have taken off them through the implementation of these policies. And again, even people who are telling you, I am not a direct beneficiary, but I know other people who are benefiting from these policies. You may not conclude that these are just expressing their partisan preferences. We know people depend on other people in this country, even your members of parliament, your politicians. And not just that, if you are seen as well-to-do a little bit in your community, you will see people trooping in every now and then to look for assistance. So when you see government implementing some of these policies and you enjoy it, even though you are not a direct beneficiary, you don't have your sibling or your ward or any family member, you are also enjoying the policy because the people who would have come to you to seek for assistance, they are not coming anymore because government has provided the free alternative for them to go ahead with their lives.
Okay. Now, how important is this policy? How important would it be going forward into the election? Essentially, would this win someone the election?
Well, so it wouldn't be just one policy. And I think the people that we spoke to stated their views. Others believe that, well, education is paramount to them. They have benefited from it, and they think because of that, they will vote for the government. Others also believe that education alone cannot determine who they are going to vote for. And usually, it's not one thing that convinces voters to make a particular choice. Sometimes it's a combination of factors. When you look at the previous surveys that have been done, and even Afrobarometer survey, one of the key issues that people were raising, you had infrastructure, which was general among the populace. When you come to the youth, the key thing or the most pressing need of the youth, as at the time that we did Afrobarometer last year, was job creation, was unemployment. They wanted the government to address, or any other political party that want to win power to address some of these issues. Education was certainly part of it. So you have a gamut of things that are most pressing to Ghanaians. So you have to consider all these things before you would know how far you need to go to get people to vote for you. But certainly education has been one of the top priorities of Ghanaians over the years.
So I've lost my job, but my child is enjoying free SHS. So I have lost, I'm losing, but I have gained. And I'm gaining. How are we measuring how such a person would vote? Is there anything like that?
Well, that is a dilemma, and I think it's a dilemma that people would always have to contend and make the choices for themselves. It's not even just, it's everything. You may be seeing developments and you will realize that maybe your rights is also being infringed upon. Where do you take sides? So you need to just evaluate it and see if what the government is doing satisfies you most, and whether you believe going forward the policies that they are proposing will benefit or will satisfy the other needs that you haven't seen. So you just need to evaluate. Others will say, well, I have seen improvement in this. I'm now enjoying the free senior high school, but I don't think you have a credible policy to address unemployment. And I see the other party coming out with a credible policy. So, well, I think I want to enjoy both. So once the free senior high school has come to stay, then I can shift quickly and then go for the other alternative to solve my unemployment problem. So these are choices that Ghanaians would have to consider the proposals by the various political parties and then make the decision for themselves. But it's a hard one, I must say.
So finally, when I speak to persons of knowledge like yourself coming from the area of research, I like to ask what key question or questions that the people can pose to these politicians who are promising all these good things, if you like. What should we ask them in terms of a follow-up specific to the area of education?
Well, I think we need timelines for the things that they propose. And nowadays that we are having our political parties becoming more committed to their manifesto promises, one thing that we also need to add is the resources available to implement some of these promises. The resources available to implement some of these promises and where they want to see the country after the implementation of some of these policies. We think we need these milestones to guide us and to make sure that the political parties are very prepared as they promise, and then they will be able to deliver at the end of their tenure. So I think these are basic questions that we need to press these political parties and then ask them.
Okay. Well, we thank you for your time. There's a conversation to have with you a bit later on, following from that briefing you had yesterday on some of the major policies and the follow-ups that you've made.
Yes, certainly.
Okay. All right.
Certainly.
All right. Thank you very much for your time this morning. As a research consultant with the CDD Ghana, Mr. Gilfred Isiama Boateng. That's it for Voters' Voice today. It is back on air on Tuesday next week. God willing. We've got the conversation on the childhood cancers coming up.
He announced his retirement after spending 14 years representing the people of Tamale Central constituency. On the exit, we hear the story of Inusa Abdullahi Bistav Fusaini.
My story is a comedy of errors.
And there are a few controversies to clear up too.
Are you also still being investigated for taking double salary as MP and minister then?
I never took double salary.
And then you know those memories that never go away.
Yes, so even delegate cartoon without.
He announced his retirement after spending 14 years representing the people of Tamale Central constituency. On the exit, we hear the story of Inusa Abdullahi Bistav Fusaini.
My story is a comedy of errors.
And there are a few controversies to clear up too.
Are you also still being investigated for taking double salary as MP and minister then?
I never took double salary.
And then you know those memories that never go away.
Yes, so even delegate cartoon me. That was the time that they believed that they cartoon me being put in the dustbin.
In 2010, Mr. Fusaini lost his wife.
She invested and reposed a lot of trust in the police hospital. When it was time for them to show her love, they left her on a bench to die.
And what does he make of the parliament he's leaving behind?
Committees engaging in supervisory jurisdiction of parliament in ways that clearly shows that they are interested in some gains.
And at 58, he's got an incredible stamina too.
Just when you jump out of the bed, straight away.
Having been under the leadership of 4 different speakers of parliament, he has got a favorite.
My favorite clearly is...
Don't miss the exit with Mama V. Osu Abuaje on JoyNews.
I am Nana Ama Iyaba the First, the Queen Mother of Efutu and Kronti Hima of the Ogwa traditional area. There is this story about this woman who people would not want to sell to her because her husband had been exposed. This is not good. Anybody who had gone into such a condition had already been traumatized. And so if the person is stigmatized, it's like adding insults to injuries. We should rather show affection to them. We should embrace them. Please, let us stop stigmatization because it kills.
There are some issues that go beyond the political divide.
This is what news means to us on News Desk. We separate facts.
6-year-old doesn't know he's a male and a female. Really?
From opinions, noise, and rhetoric. With in-depth stories, features, and compelling analysis of the news in politics.
And it will not happen. Not in this country.
Business, education, health. We believe in reporting all sides of the news. It's unbiased, fair, and credible news on Joy News Desk.